number one talk show. This is The Opinion Line on Cork's.
Latest of our leaders' interviews in the run-up to election 2016. Joined in studio by Gerry Adams, leader of Sinn Féin. Gerry, good morning.
Much annoyed, PJ. How are you?
Very good. Welcome in.
Good man, thank you.
Good to see you again. It's been a while. Now, we haven't had a chance to chat to each other, I think, in election time for quite some time. Last night's debate has taken up a lot of space on the first hour of the programme this morning. You had a spat with Micheál Martin in the middle of it. I was thinking, while I was watching that, if it came down to it in 2 weeks' time, that the numbers said to you that your partner is Fianna Fáil, could you do business after that last night?
Well, I try not to take this type of debate personally, although sometimes the invective and the viciousness of Micheál's tone can be rather annoying. But look, our position is very, very clear in this. We want the largest number of TDs elected for Sinn Féin, and we're asking the people very respectfully to give us that chance. Our first call, if we get that mandate, will be on the other 101, and we're part of the 101 candidates who have signed up for the right to change.
The right to change.
So that's our first call.
Do you think that the right to change candidates between them are capable of pulling in 79, 80, 81, which is what the magic number will be?
Well, you see, that's really, and this is why elections are such a blood sport and why people find it so interesting, that's really in the lap of the gods and in the votes of the electorate. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I don't know if I'm going to be re-elected. I hope to be re-elected. We don't know how well we're going to do, how badly we're going to do. No party actually does. So, in theory, if you have 101 people standing, and if they've signed up to principles which are about public services and fair recovery, if you got 3/4 of those elected, then you're within a shout.
Is it 51 or 2 you have, isn't it?
With 50 in 40 constituencies.
50
so,
and 40.
you know, we're standing the largest number of Sinn Féin candidates in recent history. We're very clear. What we want is to relieve the burden on working people. What we want is a fair and sustainable recovery. And what we want is to continue to build in the north, to build the peace, to develop strategies for Irish unity, to work with our unionist partners and with the British.
But if it came down to having to deal with Fianna Fáil or with Fine Gael, you know, if there's one party in the country, Gerry, that can say never. I was talking to your colleague and friend Martin McGuinness a couple of weeks ago, and he spoke to me about how he managed to do business with Ian Paisley and how they became close pals by the end of it all. Never say never, you know.
Well, first of all, there will be parties, and this goes for all the parties, where there is no compatibility in policy at all, and that's, you know, that's the way it is. But I think you make a very good point. Ian Paisley used to say never, but then he embraced the peace process, and
so he moved. You didn't.
No, we moved as well. Of course we did. I'm not suggesting otherwise. But what the point I'm making is that Ian Paisley could teach Micheál Martin and the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach a lesson, because for all of his record before that, I always found him in dealing with me, and particularly his daily dealings with Martin, that he was always respectful, he was always good-humoured, he was always positive. He said we have to solve problems. That's what the people sent us in to do. So, you know.
And were you able to leave? I know I'm going down a bit the north now, but I'll come back very quickly locally. Were you able to leave the rancour, the obvious rancour, outside the door?
Yes.
Do you think you could do that with Micheál Martin?
We can do that with anybody who's prepared to do business in the common good, in the national interest, but particularly they have to be prepared to stand up for citizens' rights. And we have had governments under Fianna Fáil and under Fine Gael and Labour who have not stood up for people's rights, and we have this complete mess in our hospital systems. We have a scantless homeless and housing crisis. We have people who can hardly get by every day on the meagre income that they're being given.
And indeed, many of them call here every day to tell us about that. A couple of local things I want to bring up with you. I did this with the Taoiseach, I did this with Micheál Martin. I want to keep it local, Gerry, because and the reason is this: all the national party leaders, you're all very well versed in what you want to do nationally. I'm going to focus on Cork, because those are the people that listen to us. And I want to start in East Cork, because There's a very, very, very bitter situation in East Cork, Gerry. Sandra McClellan, your outgoing TD, refused to run. And she said that she couldn't run for the party. She felt she was bullied out of it. 2 councillors resigned. There was supposed to be a statement of a review down there, and there isn't one. What happened in East Cork? Why is East Cork such... I know you've got Pat Buckley, a good candidate. Why is there so much bitterness in East Cork among the members of your party? What happens this time? Why won't Sandra McClellan even canvass now?
Well, first of all, I have a huge amount of time for Sandra McClellan. I think she represented people very well. She was a very good colleague in the Oireachtas. Her portfolio in arts and culture, and particularly around the Moore Street issue, but also when she took up the brief on children, she played it all excellently.
But she's not standing now because she had a problem with
Yes, and I would have preferred that she did stand. She didn't want to put her name forward to the convention because of the local issues involved. And
did you investigate those issues? Did you get answers?
Well, there are in every association of human beings, and Sinn Féin is not immune from that, clashes and difficulties and cultures which make life very, very difficult for the folks involved.
Personal differences, maybe?
Well, a range of issues, but what we have to do is to continue to develop a political party which treats everyone within the party in a Republican way. And even if people can't get on, the common goals which we share should allow for us all to be more tolerant and respectful.
But you also had a situation down in East Cork, Gerry, where you had a councillor expelled from the party, and we never, to be fair, I don't think we ever got answers as to why that happened. He's now standing as an independent, Kieran McCarthy. We never got answers as to why that happened.
Well, the party has processes which are very, very fair, in that people who are not involved in the areas involved come in and adjudicate and investigate issues or complaints or whatever happens to be the area of contention. So they did find that Kieran McCarthy had not acted as he should have, and I'm just conscious, that people can run to the courts on some of these issues, so I don't want to be
fair point.
Making accusations. And also, Kieran McCarthy is gone, so I'm not going to, he's gone, and that's history. And Pat Buckley is our candidate now. And
are you happy that it's all settled down there now, though?
Well, we have to rebuild. We want to hold on to the seat. Sandra did great work, as I said previously. Pat can follow on in that work. I know Pat quite a good way. I actually met Pat before I knew he was a Republican. I met him when he was active on suicide prevention issues.
He's been very active, to be fair to him. I want to move out of there because it's not the only part of Cork where there have been questions. For example, now Donald O'Leary is a fine young man, a very educated young man, and is carrying on a strong campaign in Cork South Central. But in 2011, Chris O'Leary ran Michael McGrath of Fianna Fáil to within an inch of his life. It was about 9 counts. And Chris O'Leary's passed over for this candidacy. He did want it. Why was he passed over, Gerry? What did he do that was wrong?
The convention made that choice.
Conventions can work any way you want them to.
No, excuse me. We're a very democratic party, and people come into convention, put their names forward, and their peers, the other members of the party in that constituency, decide who they want to represent them. Either Chris or Donica would have been excellent candidates for Sinn Féin. I have a high regard for Chris as well. I think he's doing a great job as Ardwara here in the city. The convention chose Donica, and Donica, as you say, is well educated, very, very committed, and representative of that generation of young Sinn Féin.
You had a Lord Mayor who scared the life out of a senior member of Fianna Fáil in 2011. And yet he's not standing in 2016.
Well, I've already explained that to you, PJ. And what we have to do, and Chris is right behind this, is to get Donica elected. That's what we have to persuade people to do if they want to change from Fianna Fáil, which is the party which wrecked the state, which wrecked the economy, and left people in the plight and the situation.
That's the whole point I was making. You had someone who bruised them badly in 2011. Go to North Central, and again, the choice of candidate, very straight. I know you'll come back to convention on it. Jerk Johan's gone independent now and is standing. But Tommy Gould and Jonathan O'Brien, they practically tramp the same roads together. That's going to split you both. That's not the best vote management in the world, is it?
Well, we think we can get the two of them elected. And Jonathan is the outgoing TD. Again, exemplary in the Oireachtas. Very, very honest, very, very straight, dealing with hard issues and in terms of issues that he felt strongly on, articulating the views of people who are at the receiving end of all of the austerity. And Tommy's a great guy. So we have the opportunity here in this constituency to have both of them elected, and what we want to do.
Geography is so important, though, Gerry, particularly in Cork North Central,
well,
the urban-rural divide. They're split each other's geography.
No, well, I have been in the constituency with both of them. I was there, I think, last week, and they're very contented that the vote management plan that has been put in place, and it's very forensic and detailed in how it has been divided up, that we can, if the people wish, elect two Sinn Féin TDs.
Okay. I want to talk about some other issues. We need to clear a break first. 1850 715 996, and with the Sinn Féin leader, Gerry Adams.